Hi, today we will be discussing probability. Probability is the likelihood of an event happening. And probability is always random, always one at a time, and always between 0 and 1. A probability of 0 means that something will never happen, and a probability of 1 means that something is guaranteed to happen. So something like death has a probability of 1. So now to begin, we can start with the formulas of probability. So the addition principle is one of the formulas. And it is used when we want to find the probability of one thing or something else happening. So for example, the probability of A or B occurring. So the formula for this is the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B occurring. This is the intersection. So, before we continue, we want to ask ourselves, always, are these events mutually exclusive? This means that if two events are mutually exclusive, that means that they cannot occur at the same time. So this means that their intersection will always be equal to 0 if they're mutually exclusive. So that means if two events are mutually exclusive, then it's not necessary to have this part of the equation because it would be equal to 0. So for events that are mutually exclusive, we can take out this part of the equation, leaving us with just the probability of A plus the probability of B, because this would be 0 anyways. But if two events aren't mutually exclusive, we would do probability of A or B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus the probability of A and B. And it is also important that you know that these events have to be mutually exclusive to take out this part. Okay, that's the addition principle. So for example, if we want to know the probability of Sam or Mark leaving the room, they don't both have to leave, just either Sam or Mark. We would do the probability of Sam plus the probability of Mark minus the probability of Sam and Mark leaving the room. So that's for the addition principle. The next is a multiplication principle. And the formula for this is probability of A and B equals the probability of A times the probability of B given A. Probability of B given A is used as a conditional probability. It's written as B given A, but the way that we would solve for it is the probability of B and A over the probability of just A. So we'll go into this further later, but for right now, that's what this equals. So that's if we want to find the event of the probability of two things happening. So in this case, it's really important that we discuss independence and replacement. So independence means that there's an equally likely chance for something to happen. And if the thing is independent, the formula would be probability of A times the probability of B if the events are independent. That's what I was looking for before also. Okay, so the way that we ensure independence is by replacement. So replacement being that, for example, in a deck of cards, if we were to take out one card, replacing it would be putting that card back and giving us the same chance to select that card again. So that's for the multiplication principle. Okay, so the conditional in further detail is the probability. It's read as B given A, and it's written as B given A, just like that. So again, the formula is B and A over the probability of just A. Okay, it's also important that we discuss the complement rule. So the complement rule is known that we subtract the complement by 1. So we subtract the complement by 1. So subtract by 1. So for example, if we want to know what the complement, I'm going to switch to pen so you can see better. If we want to know the probability of selecting at least one blue marble, we would use the formula 1 minus the probability of the complement of selecting at least one blue marble, which is selecting no blue marbles. So 1 minus the probability of selecting no blue. So a lot of times it's easier to calculate the probability using this complement rule. Okay, so an example that I have created is this. So here we have males and females, and we have football, basketball, tennis, and the total amounts of them. So first, if we wanted to find the probability of playing football or tennis, so that means we're going to use the addition principle, and it's going to be the probability of football or tennis. So remember, we asked ourselves using the addition principle, are these events mutually exclusive? Can football and tennis occur at the same time? Is there an intersection between them? No, there is not. So we would just do the probability of football plus the probability of tennis. And the probability of football is 68 over the total, 164, plus the probability of tennis, which is 62 over 164. So you set it up, and that's how it happens. Okay, and that would be equal to 130 over 164. So the probability of football or tennis is equal to 130 over 164. Now, if another example is if we wanted to find the probability of tennis given female, we would do the probability of tennis and female, so tennis and female, over the probability of just female. So this is equal to tennis and female is right here, 40 over the probability of just female, which is 86. And this is equal to approximately 0.465. So that's the examples that we're going to do today. And I hope you learned a lot and tune into my next channel.